All right, welcome back to the weekly Forex cast. I'm going to be getting right into it, man. And another solid week full of volume. Everything basically played out as anticipated. The week started off definitely going to line with dollar bulls. You know, as we can see, we had this continued pump here in the dollar. After this pull down, we had this pump. All right, now the dollar did just end the week bearish. All right, so how I like to look at things is, let's say if I'm trading dollar pairs, I'm looking to trade dollar pairs, I'm analyzing the dollar index. I'm like, okay, am I leaning towards a bullish week or a bearish week? All right, because chances are, if it's a bullish week, that's what's going, the market is going to move in cycles. You might see it end on the opposite end at the end of the week, but for the most part, I look to catch the next waves of the market, maybe the next 2 to 3 days or so. All right, so now I can see after that pump, we had a lot of news. We had, what was it? F1? No, it was NFP. It was NFP week. So a lot of news came in. And so now I can see here on the daily, pretty much printed like an evening star pattern right here. All right. So we had this fall. All right. And we're going to look at some of these dollar pairs and see how they ended the week to see how it's going in line with the weakness of the dollar and how the next waves we're looking to catch. So if we take this down, we can see even here on the 4-hour, price, broke. Initially, I was still overall bullish in the dollar after that pump, but price would have needed to pretty much hold structure. So I could see here within this up move, right? Within this up move, price just broke this higher low within structure. All right. And you see here on the 4-hour, we got this impulsive breakdown right here, strong impulse move. All right. So going into next week, I will be looking for the dollar to continue, possibly maybe give, some type of correction first. But with that, I will be looking for another wave down on the dollar this week. All right. So with that, we're going to see how we can catch the pairs in line with that. All right. So now also looking at yen. All right. The Japanese yen index, it turned out to be a bullish week for the yen. All right. And we can see, and that was after price found support right here. So we could look at this on the daily. We can see overall price has been in a downtrend on the daily, on the weekly. All right. So I see here on the daily, price came, initially failed, and it had a pump, retesting this major level of structure, and they had a sharp fall. All right. So we see the pairs move in line with that. All right. But now price just formed a double bottom right here, found strong support to end the week. All right. So I still would look for yen to continue to push up a bit higher, right? Possibly maybe back towards this level of structure. All right. So that's what I would look for on the yen. Maybe you could have some type of correction to happen first. But overall, even if price correct, I would look for price to set up for maybe another bullish wave to the upside. All right, now looking at EU. So EU was actually a pair. I gave it a signal out in VIP in the Discord. And like I said, I look to see, depending on how the week ended, normally I'm going into the coming trading week already knowing what I'm looking for. And it's based off of the higher time frames. I can already identify what price is likely to do. And a lot of that is based off how the daily closures and the weekly closures. All right. So we can see here on EU, right? Looking to the left, after I saw, of course, I covered this on the last weekly Forex cast. You can see after I saw, this big bearish close on the daily, breaking below structure. All right. On this pullback, we were selling. So on this pullback or retest, we caught this sell. All right. Price hit our TP2. Hit our TP1 for about 80 pips. Came about 12, 13 pips shy of TP2. I was looking for this to come to 1.09 even. It came just shy of that. And now it's moving to the upside. So this week, I will look for, in line with me having a bearish bias going into the week on the dollar, I'm looking for EU to continue up. Now, we can see here on the daily, we got this morning star. This is a morning star pattern, which is a nice bullish indication. Higher the time frame, stronger the confirmation. So seeing this type of price action pattern on the daily gives me strong indication that it's likely we're going to continue up. All right. So I could look on a smaller time frame, and look for price to pull back. All right. So it's certain areas, you know, with me, I look at certain structure points, you know, for price to possibly pull back, you know, maybe somewhere around here. All right. But I can also measure this candle, right? Measure this close. All right. That bullish candle. All right. Anywhere from 50 to 61.8 will be nice. You see the 61.8 roughly lines up around where I drew that structure point. So this could possibly pull down and create like an inverted head and shoulders, with this being the head and left shoulder. All right. But on this pullback, you know, I still would look for another bullish wave on Euro USD. And dealing with gold, I was able to catch a nice pump on gold. Took profit around 1947. All right. But going into the week now, again, based off the daily, with this type of daily close, all right, this is like a morning star as well. Nice bullish pump, bullish close on the daily above structure, looking to the left, this level of support. All right. So I will be looking for gold to possibly give us another wave up. So if I look at this, all right, if you look at this based off the weekly, this could possibly be an inverted head and shoulders on the weekly. Possibly. All right. That is a possibility. Now, but just dealing with this based off of what I'm looking for going into the week. So when you're dealing with gold, especially, they love to take out liquidity. So before price made its move, it was ranging right here. So let's say if you was anticipating a buy and you enter a buy within this range and your stop loss is right below it, you would have got taken out. All right. You see, it had a nice wick close. But when I saw that, once I saw, okay, they took out sell side liquidity, nice spike and wick, that level. All right. You can even see here on the 15-minute. I'm like, okay, I started, you know, catching after I saw it close back above that level, you know, I started catching it. Even if you was looking at this on the 5-minute, right? You could see strong wick, close back in the range. All right. You could have been looking for buys within here. Okay. You can see price rose over 100 pips there. Okay. But now based off of the daily, all right, maybe a pullback to retest this range, you know, something along the lines. It actually just did that, actually broke above, retested. So overall, I would like to either see maybe one more slight pullback and then look to catch that. All right. Or this could just continue up from here, you know, then the next opportunity it gives you. But overall, I will be looking for another, bullish pump up. And, you know, targets around anywhere from 1950 to around 1953. That would be my next area of value, that I'll look for. But this could possibly go even higher. All right. So that is gold, bullish bias going into the week. GU, same thing with GU, bullish. All right. Always look to the left to go right. You look to the left. This is a major level of supply, right? This is a major level of supply here as well. All right. Eventually, that level of supply, which happened a couple weeks ago, or last month in July, late July, we had this, found support here and had a big pump. So now we right back at this level and we found support. So really, I was leaning towards buys, really, even once I saw this type of wick doji type close there. All right. And if we go down to the 4-hour, another thing that gave me like, okay, it's looking like I was anticipating buys, and going into NFP, I was anticipating a bearish dollar because things look to be already priced in. I saw our prices developing. GU kind of showed his hand. And when I saw this is a morning star right here on the 4-hour. Found firm support. So really, I knew on this pullback, you could look for opportunity to catch that. You know, and it gave the opportunity on the pullback after that, right? Stop loss could have been below, right? And then, you know, you had that pump, 100 plus pips. So now I'm still bullish bias on this going into the week. All right. It's a nice daily closure. Okay. So what I would look for is, you know, you could catch some type of pullback. Definitely would expect price to stay above here. Let me see. This shoulder right here. And you can see we got an inverted head and shoulders right here too. That right there, yeah, that is under that daily candle. So definitely expect price to stay above that daily candle, this right shoulder. You see we got an inverted head and shoulders, right? Price just repeats itself. You see high quality patterns, quality opportunities, right? So possibly get one more slight pullback. Overall, I will look for that to happen there. All right, you can even measure this out from this shoulder with the fib. Okay, maybe one more slight pullback, maybe the 61.8. All right, but overall, I will expect price to stay above there. All right, you can look at the daily. That actually, will keep price above that daily candle. All right, and as far as targets, you can look at the -27, but also that lines up with structure to the left. All right, so take this up anywhere 1.28 or higher. All right, so that's GU, bullish bias going into the week. USDCHF. So this is actually a sell that I caught. Once I saw, okay, we got dollar bears, and I was able to enter up towards this high before this breakdown. All right. And you can see right here on USDCHF, price formed this double top, right? Then it had a breakdown, pulled up, formed like a right shoulder, a lower high, and it had a breakdown. So going into the week, I'm expecting a further drop. We could look at this based off the weekly. All right. Price had a big fall, been in a downtrend from that high. Now, if we look to the left where price bounced from, it did bounce from an area of demand, all right? But now, overall, what it just did is now where it's rejecting from is pulled up, retesting a previous level, a major level of demand, all right? So it's rejecting there. So when you see that, that's price action and market structure. That's how market structure react, right? If you retest a major level of structure, starts to form bearish price action, all right, you start to look to trade in that direction. Same thing that happened here. Price broke, retested the structure right here, and continued, right? You could even look at this further over, right? You got major like demand structure within there, right? So that was a textbook break, retest, continuation, all right? So now we're retesting here, setting up for possibly another fall, all right? So we already got the initial fall to end the week, all right? And as long as dollar bears like I'm anticipating, and, respectfully and humbly, I do believe I've been on point. If you go back and check every week forecast the last several weeks, like I've been on this dollar, and I've been on the dollar and the yen like on point. And it's because I'm able to identify what price is likely to do within that week based off the higher time frame, the daily, the weekly, and I'm able to just follow, we just follow the wave. We just ride the wave, right? So now looking at this, like again, we got the breakdown, break of our trend line here too. So price could possibly pull back a little some right here, right? On this pullback, I would look for price to break down. Ideally, I will expect price to stay below that lower high or that high in price, all right? And that's actually, this here is actually above the daily candle that just closed. Also before that, what was a sign that you could start looking towards is the daily, right? Right? When price started rejecting from that, you see here on the daily, it formed this bearish engulfing candle, which is a sign that the sellers are coming in. After that, price slightly pulled up, right? And then now it's breaking down. So I'm looking for price to come back down, probably around here would be my target at least, right? But my first target would be like this level of support, like 0.867, like around the area of support. All right, but if we break through there, I would look for price to come lower within here. Okay. And dealing with the yen pairs. So again, I said it's looking like the yen is going to be continued bullish. So EJ was a setup that I called out in VIP as well. It came just like 4 to 5 pips shy of my TP target that I gave out, which was 155.50. All right. Came about 4 or 5 pips shy of that. And what I said was, you can see here, clear head and shoulders. Now, if we look at this based off the higher time frame, the daily, all right, overall, price basically went up back towards this high, right? It fell there. We pulled up almost to the top again, but then we started falling again. All right, so we closed below a level of structure. So now, if I look at this, when we're at here, like, you don't want to get really caught up chasing tops and bottoms. So we could look to the left, though, when price broke here in the past, broke, retest, continued. right? Same here, broke, retest, continue. So I'm looking at a similar scenario. I'm like, okay, let's see how price react right here. All right, I'm like, if we get that breakdown, we can catch the pullback or the retest. All right, and I saw that this was a potential head and shoulders, and it turned out to be one right here. Potential head and shoulders. You start seeing it forming a potential right shoulder, right? Sometimes you can catch the high, you know, if you like what you see, but many times the safer bet is to wait for the retest. All right. So if I look, when I say the retest, I mean the retest of the neckline. So once I saw this sharp breakdown, I believe I went to sleep, woke up, boom, I saw, okay, they broke down. Nice impulsive close and engulfing close, breakdown. That's a confirmed head and shoulder. So now on the retest is where you look to enter, and then boom. So on that retest was where gave out sales. And it actually initially dropped, like right here, broke down. You can see it more clear here. Retest, it had a nice fall here. All right. After that, it pulled back some more, started chopping. It just pulled back some more to end the week. But I still like for EJ to give us another wave down here. All right. I still like this. Okay. So here, I will look for this to break down. I will look for this to break down because you can see even on the 4 hour, we just formed like a bearish engulfing. All right. So overall, to start the week, you know, I'm looking for this to continue to break down. So it's either it can give like a slight pullback first. All right. But overall, I will look for this to give us that fall that I'm anticipating. All right. So now last two pairs. So now GJ did exactly what I said. You can see I had this drawn up. GJ did exactly what I said. All right. I sent this out in Telegram. I said, hey, if it breaks down, look on a pullback and look for a continuation. So it did that beautifully. All right. We got that beautifully, and GJ actually made more of his move. All right. And this was the same thing. We saw a sharp breakdown. They broke down together. All right. EJ and GJ tend to correlate, to trade in the same direction. So we had this huge impulsive breakdown. On this pullback, this was your opportunity. All right. You can measure this impulse here. Right. So you can see price pull back about 50%. All right. You can start catching your sales, stop loss above. How I look at this too, when I'm catching that pullback, chances are more often than not, you're not going to see price come back above like the body of this candle. So you could have had this daily candle. You had a stop loss above there. All right. And then you see we got that move. Price dropped 100 plus, about 100 pips from there. All right. We still could fall further based off the daily, based off of structure, looking to the left, because I was anticipating price to come down roughly around here about 180 to this level of structure. Now, of course, if we could continue down there, all right, we're heading there now. So, you know, if it pulls back early, you see we got a strong 4 hour close. So if it pulls back early, you could possibly catch that. All right. Now, if it pulls back down into 180 and we break structure, then you can expect us to possibly go lower, confirm that it's not a fake breakout, and just trade in line with structure. All right. And lastly, UJ. So if you look at UJ was another pair that I anticipated this actually first, going back to GJ. It's the same type of scenario, right? Before GJ broke down, it had this big bearish engulfing on the daily. So I knew that was a sign that price was likely getting ready to fall. The sellers were coming in. Bearish engulfing is a sign that the sellers are taking control. Seeing that on the daily and the higher time frame holds more weight. So it pulled back some of that and then dumped. So this was the same type of scenario that I had an anticipation, and I caught some of this drop to end the week. I'll look for more next week on the pullback. But it was the same thing. Here on the daily, we can see price form like this evening star type pattern, strong bearish close on the daily, right? After that, price slightly pulled back, and then right with it just broke. So now we see a daily close below structure, looking to the left, right? This was a major level of demand or support in the past that broke, retested for resistance, and continued. So we just had a daily close below that level, all right? So chances are I would like to see a pullback or like a slight retest here, and then look to continue to fall. So this week, I'm looking for price to stay below this daily candle. All right. So with that, you see even here, we got a breaker structure right here. This is a slight not perfect, but I mean, you could call this a head and shoulders, left shoulder. It's, you know, yeah, you could call it one. All right, so we just broke the neckline, broke structure. All right, so I would like to see a slight pullback, right? I would like to get a slight pullback, maybe a retest, but overall, looking for another wave down on UJ. All right, so those are the pairs on my watch list for the week. A few dollar pairs. I'm going to take what gives me the best setup. I'm actually still in USDCHF right now, so I'm looking to ride that down. UJ is heavy on my list. If I can get a nice retest on UJ, I will be looking to take that. Possibly EU or GU. We'll see. We'll see how things set up. I hope y'all got value from that. Be sure to, you know, give me a like, give me a thumbs up. You know, if you got value, you know, if you see the benefit in what I'm breaking down here. I like to simplify things. Be sure to tap into everything. All the links will be in the description. Free Telegram where I send out updates. Also, if you're looking to tap into the signals, tap into the group, the sessions, the training, you know, some of the strategies, go ahead and join us at the fxwave.com. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all be blessed. Peace. Shalom.